Well, a warm good evening to you, our listeners, and those joining in from all over the continent. We have come to the closing, and this morning we started with what we, how we cross, and we're closing with what we carried. And in our opening, I did ask people to give one word about how they arrived into the session. And if you've been able to join us in between or at any point today, then we welcome you to put in the chat what you are carrying from this year's AAWP festival, from all the myriad of conversations we have had. We would love to hear your thoughts in the chat. So engage with us in the chat. Please note that it's also going live on YouTube. And so if someone is unable to join the Zoom link, kindly do us the honors of sending them our YouTube link so that they can join us on YouTube. I look forward to an exciting time. And so right into our performances, we head from some of them in the morning, and this evening we are bringing you, we heard from some of them in the morning, and this evening we're bringing you a second set. To begin, we'll take a piece from Titi Lopez Shonuga, and this piece is titled The Women Are Talking. Enjoy the serenade, and I'll share a bit about Titi Lopez with you.
I come from a place where mothers go to battle each day with the baby strapped across their backs. Another still clinging from their breasts. It is childcare at its finest. A place of street businessmen who don't need a white collar to make deals. They sign contracts with handshakes. Shirtless, sometimes shoeless, they will show you how to make money. And you will find anything in these streets, from hubcaps to toilet seats, and it's been said, if you leave home naked, find yourself caught in the gridlock traffic of Lagos roads, they will have you dressed. Boardroom sharp briefcase in hand between the mainland and the island. And I come from a place of jaw-dropping mansions and face me and face you rooms, where a child hawks goods in the blazing sun next to an air-conditioned Mercedes-Benz. There are dichotomies here, with abject poverty chewing at the seams that bind us. But we are the same people who built a city on water, who bent fire and metal to give you art, built empires before the world's first breath. Check your textbooks. Better yet, check your encyclopedias, read between the lines, you will find us there. You will find us everywhere. Every country, every climate, speaking Portuguese, French, Italian, and they call us uncivilized. We can show you how to perfectly pair your caviar and wine and still get down fingers deep in a plate of pounded yam. And I come from a place where the world's best storytellers first spoke, who taught you that you must set forth at dawn, be no longer at ease with that thing around your neck before things fall apart. So when you ask me where I come from, there are things that I want to tell you that are louder than my bright green passport. Things that are heavier than the failed explosive cradled in Mutalab's underpants. Things that are more colorful than a well-crafted 419 email. And you will never understand who I am until you know exactly where it is that I come from. Thank you.
Cue for a dream. Naiji Chinzi Mashogwai.
And that was award-winning poet, playwright, and performer whose poetry concert open has sold out to audiences worldwide and has 3 publications to her credit. And this morning, she was our keynote speaker at the opening. I now present to you a weaver of words, a storyteller embellished with bold truth who crafts worlds with film, poetry, theater, music, and the page. Her work is spoken word and for 2023 Bulawayo Arts Award for Outstanding Poets and National Arts Merit Award nomination, all the way from Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. I give you Chiuniso Chikisai.
Q for a Dream. Dai zvichinzi mashoko aidyiwa, hapana munhu aimbofa nenzara. Kungoguta nekutaura netembo iyi ndoipakura sesadza. Zuva radoka, mundiro werudo ndimo mandiri nekuti rwangu rudo runopisa. Runokwata, runopopota pamoto, runopupura kunge munamato. Mwari pindirai. Mudiwa wangu akaenda, iye wandaivimba naye akandisiya nekuti aive nenzara. Akaenda kune dzimwe nyika kumhiri kwemakunga, achiti ari kunotsvaga mari namwari wake. Koini, uko kune chingwa nemukaka, uchi nezvinhu zvinonaka. Zvinotapira zvacho handina. Idambudzo chete. Ndiri ruva rinoramba richidzurwa. Vanondichoda vachindisiya mudota. Muchato wacho ndewekungomirira maqueue mudhorobha. Mari inobva diaspora. Mukuru wacho ndiwe? Nezera rako hausati waroorwa. Kumirira murume kunge uri kumirira muraini remvura unofa nenyota. Kwamai, sei musina kutaura kuti kuzvara nyika kubereka hondo kumusana? Vakomana vandibata sepfuti. They perforate my chest with bullets and bulletins, and I'm vexed that there's no border control when it comes to disrespect. Don't you know? It's rude to keep a lady waiting, and yet you have me queuing for a dream. Every passport back to the past, pour back into the glass of redemption. The blood we spilt on homicidal sheets, these are the economics of existing in a system that cares little for the echo in your system. I thought by the time I was 25 I would own a title deed to a house, but the only title I own are to the deeds of these poems. And sometimes in a rhyme scheme, I tell a double story.
Q for a Dream from Chiuniso Chikisai, all the way from Zimbabwe. Thank you for that beautiful rendering. And when that poem or film, feature film was released, I think it almost broke the internet at the time. And so thank you so much for offering this to the space. Up next is We're Coming Home to Ghana. And this morning we did experience her in the duo, Incorrect, but tonight at the closing, she is presenting a solo piece. I present to you a Shishi Slam champion for the year 2024, and a poet who is fierce and as raw as they come with all the power that she delivers her pieces with. Ladies and gentlemen across the globe, Afi. She is Afi.
I am the girl that you wished were a boy. I know I would have been his bundle of joy, but how is that my fault for being a girl? And who do I blame? The universe? His sperm's on my mother's eggs, I told him. Having girls is not a bad thing, Dad. He said, no. You should have been a boy, the one to carry on after I am gone, carrying my name, not the shame of not being able to bear a male child, because as the first child of my father, having girls means it ends here for me. And the stories of him telling my mommy I am a boy while I was still forming in her tummy made God laugh, I guess. But that was what drew the line for me. I started wearing shirts and shorts more often, walking and playing with boys so I wouldn't soften. Changed bulbs, climbed ladders like no other to fix things on the roof, slit the throats of fowls a couple of times. So anytime he was called to come fix something at home, he would ask if I'm not around. My daddy turned me into a boy, I guess. I guess that's why I have chest instead of breast. So now I need a penis to complete me just so I can compete with my fellow men. Since he doesn't want his name parked in the garage once I finally get married, my daddy has finally succeeded in turning me into a boy. So now I'm facing life head on as a man, and it's tough. I am not finding my way. My days are cloudy. My days aren't funny. I am fighting, and life is beating the beautiful night's life out of me. You didn't only wish for me to be a boy, Dad, but with the fucking hard life it comes with, the anger it comes with, the responsibility it comes with, the suicidal thoughts it comes with, I sometimes wonder if somewhere within you, you are grateful I am a girl. That even though you haven't read any of Ama Ata Edu's books, you smile and say, Afi is the girl who can. And that I have your legs that take me places just so I put smiles on faces. And when I'm asked whose daughter I am, I probably mention your name, but no. My heart is heavy, for I have carried this baggage in this body for way too long, and nobody's seeing the damage it has done to me, to us. That even till this day, when tears hit my cheeks, I quickly wipe them off because men don't cry, Daddy. I hope I am a boy enough. I hope I am a man enough. I hope I have finally become the boy you wished for.
So this is not the story of how we end up together. No matter how much time it seems we're spending.
And that was She Is Afi from Ghana and the Shishi Slam champion. Sorry, yes, Shishi Slam champion organized by Ehela Casa. And now we are going all the way to New York City, and we have a poet, best-selling author, Grammy hopeful, who has sold over 40,000 copies of her work. Hearts have been healed worldwide through her poetry deliveries, and through the panel she's been on, dishing out words of wisdom every time. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Kira J.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Even though it's a different time here, I feel like we're all on the same page, so I'm forever grateful. I'm going to get straight into this first piece. I said, lately, my entire life feels like one big transition. The theme of this season seems to be a juxtaposition. I'm finding myself while losing my mind. I'm trying to balance the two. Getting in touch with the old me while making room for the new. I'm leaning more into the new me though, because I don't want to get caught in my old ways. Trying to evolve while trying to heal is like finding good in a bad day. See, the duality of the journey means ending things as you start. Your whole life finally coming together just as it's falling apart. And it's all true, yet it's all false. The more you keep digging, you see. You ain't never been restricted, but you never been free. So emotionally repressed, yet you know when to fail, even when your behavior's fake, your intentions be real. You be the brightest ray of sunlight walking around with the darkest cloud. You be the life vest saving people in the waves that make them drown. You be the hero of the village, but you also the villain. You be human. You be all that. You be the old and the new. You be the past and the future, because two things can be true. You be depressed and so happy. You be entitled yet grateful. You be the greatest parts of love, but you be so freaking hateful. See, what nobody wants to admit is life ain't a bunch of perfect behaviors you get to select from. As you grow, you also shrink. You hit both sides of that spectrum. We stay so stuck on our admirable traits, feeling validation from the applause, that you don't even realize how much you can learn from your flaws, because you be Thor and you be Thanos. You be out of control, there's so leveled. You be sickness, you be health, you be God and the devil. And the more you try to run from your lower self, your higher self stays trapped inside, because the only way to find the true you is through the parts you keep trying to hide. So you can either come outside and embrace the reality that your existence is not singular and accept your duality. Because you be everything and nothing. You are the ground and the sky, a long life, a quick death. You are the truth and the lie. There's no such thing as good people or bad people. It's just choices we make. And what separates the two is often one big mistake. And if everyone is capable of making mistakes, then shouldn't we all judge less depending on the day you be the relaxation of stress? You are not perfect, nor are you broken. In this world, we are so big yet so little. You can't keep operating in extremes. You got to meet in the middle. And the sooner that you do this, you accept the human condition, that you're not peace, nor are you chaos. You're just a juxtaposition. Thank you.
I think you can get into the second.
Oh, okay. Straight to it. Okay, this one is a little bit about God and love and all of the great things that he does. I actually wrote this poem in one sitting in my sleep years before anything in the poem had happened. So I call this my premonition piece. Do you believe in God, my love? I had to pause and take a breather because this story I'm about to tell you is going to make you a believer. Years ago, I was a broken mess. My life was in disarray. One night I cried to God in silence because there was nothing I could say, but he heard me anyway. He said it was time for me to release. He said it's something you need more than love. So I stopped and prayed for peace. He gave me peace. It was something that I never had because my emotions were always at war. But the peace I found through God was something worth me fighting for. Yet even with peace, I was in pieces because I had been through so much hurt that I found it hard to love myself and visualize my worth. I didn't know how to put me first. My whole aura was veiling. So I asked God, what do I need right now? He said, baby, you need healing. Then he took me on this journey that only he could take me through to heal my mind, body, and soul and fix the heart I broke into once that was due. I asked, was it time yet? He could sense my internal frustration, but he said, no, it's not your time right now. You need this isolation. Because I was fresh into peace and straight out of healing, my strength was still defining. I had this schedule on when I would fall in love, but I had to trust God's timing because the decisions he had made for me always played out better than my own. So as bad as I wanted to find you, God said I had to be alone. He said, while you're alone, you build that throne because my child, I made you able. So one day when I finally say it's time, you got a lot to bring to that table. I said, God, okay, I fold. I'll let you take over because you know best. What do I need in my life right now? He said, you need success because I took you through the mud. And it wasn't to keep you humble. It was because the plans I made for you, I needed to know that you won't fumble. So he gave me that bag, the skill, the talent. And he let me settle in. Because of all my previous losses, he declared it was time to win. God gave me peace, healing, strength, and success. And just when I thought he was through, I thank God for giving me all that I need. And he stopped and gave me you. He gave me you when I thought I was fresh out of blessings and he couldn't give me more. But the love he set aside for me was worth me waiting for. Do you believe in God, my love? Because his plan is so divine. He knew I needed you, but it had to be at the right time because so many people jump into love while their lives are still unsteady and ruin the best thing that ever happened to them because they were unready. But God made sure I was ready for a love that could shake me to my soul because the only way we last in love is if I came in whole. And I say this with whole confidence that God sent you without a doubt. And he wasn't going to let me mess this up because of the stuff I had to figure out. I believe God fixed me just for you. I know that's dangerous to say, but he wanted me to experience the joy and being loved on the right way. And right away, I fell into you. Our souls are so in tune that I know I'm loving you straight from my heart instead of from my wounds. A healthy love, a love that opens you up to a person you've never been. A love that challenges everything you thought you knew when it comes to loving men. A love that makes you believe in love again. After experiencing so much hate, God wanted me to have a type of love that makes you believe in fate. This here was fate. I have no doubt in that. I can tell by the way you love me. And every day I wake up next to you, I thank the man above me. The type of love we have is so holy that it took years of self work to achieve. But anything is possible with God, my love, just as long as you believe. So do you believe? Thank you.
Thank you, Kira. That is definitely a premonition piece we can all identify with, because again, if you're a dreamer, you know this to be true through and through. And so thank you for that offering. That was beautifully rendered. And now we cross the oceans all the way to Nairobi, Kenya. And we have a Nairobi-based poet and spoken word artist who's sharp with wit, lyrical depth, and has the magnetic stage presence. And you would experience that for yourself. She's a sought-after voice in Kenya's creative and corporate circles. And she began her journey in Slam Africa stage in 2017 and was crowned the 2020 Female Slam Queen. And since then, she has produced works that have moved people across rooms, stages, and spaces. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Stella Kivuti.
Hi. I'm always nervous when I get introduced. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've done all those things. Oh wow. For today's piece specifically, I saw what this specific forum would be called and what we carried, and I was like, oh, I could write something with that. So this is fresh and new for today. So it had to be done. This is what we carried. Before borders learned to speak in ink, we were already crossing, arriving. From Nairobi, from Lagos, from Kigali, from Accra, from Johannesburg, from places whose names were softened by colonizers and sharpened again by mothers. We arrived carrying languages in our mouths that the world tried to divide from each other. Swahili beside Wolof, Arabic beside Amharic, Shona dancing with Yoruba, English sitting in our throats like a tenant that overstayed. And still, we understood one another because African women have always been fluent in the language of carrying. We cross and arrive as a pattern, as practice, as something older than permission. We did not arrive at poetry through gates, we arrived through breath, through griot memory, through lullabies that outlived the rooms they were sang in, through marketplaces where language was never singular, and still they tried to locate us, on maps, in passports, in categories, as if the imagination required a visa. But African women have never worked within the grammar of containment. We carried story the way rivers carry direction, not fixed but faithful to movement. We carried voice across what was later called distance, without agreeing it was distance at all. Because a woman speaking in Kisumu and a woman speaking in Kigali and a woman speaking in Kumasi have always been in the same conversation, even when no one bothered to host it. We carried literature before it was invited to gatherings. We carried it in oral rooms, in handwritten margins, in WhatsApp audios sent at midnight across time zone, in silences that were never empty, only unfinished transmission. And still, they called it emerging, as if it had not already been there, as if it had not already been speaking. Borderless is not a theme, it is a correction. A recognition that African women's artistic practice has always exceeded the architecture built to contain it. We did not wait for festivals to gather us. We gathered ourselves into language. Across colonized alphabets, across disrupted education systems, across interrupted lineages, we built continuity out of fragmentation. We made coherence out of fracture. We learned that geography is not where we are, but how we are allowed to be seen. And then we refuse that limitation. So tonight, across screens that become stages, across oceans that become mediums, across signals that behave like migration, we do not connect, we continue. We extend what has never stopped moving. We are not guests in each other's presence, we are evidence of an uninterrupted system. African women's thoughts in circulation, unbordered, uncontained, unapologetically transmitting. And what we carried here is not only memory, but method. We carried ways of making meaning that do not require centrality. We carried authorship without gatekeeping. We carried scholarship that does not wait for validation to exist. We carried each other's voices before they reached our ears because recognition is not the beginning of relation. It is the naming of what was already happening. So, if this festival asks what it means to gather without borders, then let this be the answer we speak back. We were never separated enough to need permission to meet. We were only interrupted. And now we are resuming. across every geography, across every language, across every delayed arrival of attention. We are not crossing into something new, we are remembering the network. And in that remembering, we are borderless. We will carry this room into rooms that do not deserve us yet, and we will make them worthy simply by speaking. So if anyone asks what we carry, tell them we carried history. We carried tenderness. We carried our dead and our living. We carried fire in our throats and future on our palms. We carried everything and somehow made it beautiful. But most importantly, we carried each other. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stella, for that. And that beautiful rendering and offering. I just want us to send our reactions through for all our poets who have shared so far. And all too soon, the segment is wrapping up, and I will be sharing the closing piece for this segment. My name is Emma Ofosia, and though I need no introduction in this moment, this singular minute, I am the freestyle poet, and I will be wrapping this segment off with The Women Are Crossing. The women are crossing, not the way we were taught to cross, taught to bow our heads, taught to fold papers, ask for stamps, request that they be impressed in our pages, ask permission, balanced on our tongue like a bitter thing. No. The women are crossing the way water crosses without asking the stone its name, without explaining itself to the valley. The women have always been crossing through language and land, through the mouth of a grandmother who never called it poetry, but made it anyway. Made it in the kitchen, made it in the field, made it behind market tables, vending to people who would dare and care to have something to take home to their young. Made it in the grief of a child's name spoken in the quiet of the dark. Think of what they tried to contain. Think of what survived the containing. The women are crossing across the digital divide and the lag that they said would stop us. The weak signal, the rolling load shedding hours, the time differences, still the screen lights up, still their voices find the room, still the poem arrives, still they show up presenting their offering inside this room. Not despite the screen, but through it. Not around the distance, but inside it, not instead of the stage, beyond it, further than the stage has ever thought us to go. Today, we're gathering without visas. No embassy holds our invitation. No border officer flips through our pages. We are poets, and we move the way ideas have always moved. Slow but certain. Patient as water finding its level, unstoppable as the song that has always been remembered. We gather the way our foremothers gathered, without asking what the gathering was allowed to be, without shrinking the table to fit the room they gave us. The women from Lagos are creating worlds without words. The women from Nairobi are creating worlds without words. The women from Bulawayo are creating worlds without words. The women from New York are creating worlds without words. The women are creating worlds. And today being African Union Day, and 25 days into May, the continent holds its breath and releases this breath shaped like a poem shaped like a woman shaped like the whole of what this land has always been becoming. And we, the poets, we are the lungs of it. Accra is the room, and all the many rooms in the world gathered in this unique space. The woman in London is still dreaming in Igbo. She is in the room. The woman in Canada who has her roots somewhere in Abuja is still in the room. The girl in Bulawayo who has friends all over in different places is still in this room. The woman in Nairobi whose story has traveled beyond the borders she's yet to cross into is still in this room. The grandmother whose names we carry without knowing we are carrying it, she has always been in the room. And we're not guests of geography, we are the literature. We are the living archive of everything that crossed without permission, everything that sang through the wall, everything that refused to wait. We did not wait for this festival. This festival caught up with us. The women are crossing, not away from something, but toward each other, toward the craft that holds us together, towards the next poet who hasn't found her voice yet, but will, because she heard us crossing and she thought, well, if they can do it without borders, maybe. I was never far away as I thought. The women are here. They are here. The women are here creating worlds with words. They are borderless. They are boundless. They are speaking. Did you hear them? And on that note, thank you very much. And thank you once again to all the amazing acts that were shared today. We began this festival under the theme borderless, experimenting with form and asking ourselves, what would it look like when women crossed without passports, without visas, without spaces defining what shape or form we could show up in? And this is proof of concept that that can happen. And so thank you also for making time to join us, because without you, this would have been an offering unto ourselves. And so we thank you for joining in this communion of ourselves. And we ask you to spread the word. Tell people there's still a recap on the YouTube pages they can watch. Take 2 minutes to take the survey that would come up when this segment closes. That would help us improve the work that we are doing. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. It will mean the world to us. And once again, if you stay through to this time, I have had Stella Kivuti, I have had Chioniso Chikisai, I have had Titi Lupe Shonuga, I have had Kira J, and together we have offered you what we carried throughout this festival. Enjoy the rest of your African Union Day and have a fruitful May. See you again next year from the 27th to the 29th of May, 2027. Keep your eyes glued to our pages. We will share all information on what is happening, what programming is coming up. Next year we turn 5. It's been 5 years of doing this. It's been 5 years of building and 5 years of having a team of volunteer support. And so I want to, at this moment, say a special thank you. But even before I get into my thank yous, I want to encourage you to key into our pages so that you don't miss next year's date. If you are not following the festival's page, please follow our Instagram, follow our YouTube, and follow our Substack or sign up to our newsletters so that you'll be able to be informed on all the programs that is coming up, that we have in store for you. And the final thing is saying a big thank you to the team. Some of them are on, I think most of them are behind the scenes doing other things. And so they're unable to turn their videos on. Others are on Zoom, making sure that it doesn't drop. But give me a moment to honor their work and their sacrifice by going through a list of people who have helped make this year's festival what it is, without whom this would possibly have not happened. And so a big thank you to the festival manager, whose phenomenal work has ensured that every information has come across to you. Everything that we needed to carry through has come. I want to say a big thank you to Michelle Opon, who is our festival manager for this year, to Dr. Rachel Anson, who's our editorial and community coordinator. Thank you so very much. And it helps to note that our volunteers are across the world. And so Dr. Rachel is all the way in the US and volunteering actively on the festival this year. And so thank you again. It shows that we are looking at the theme beyond the concept of it. We are actually going borderless with the number of people and where they are found. We also have Kofi Nyakon, who's been our visual narrative director. If you've seen a flyer and gone, oh, that is dope, then you know that the brain behind that has been Kofi Nyakon, whose phenomenal work we're seeing come through and painting our women in all the colorful ways. I want to say a very big thank you to Claudia Owusu in the US, to Winifred Bemuto, who is here in Ghana, and to Jewel King, who have held us down on social media and content. If it came to you on YouTube, if you saw a video of me wasking lyrical, these people did magic. If you saw any video edits, you should say a big thank you when you see them, that I'm grateful for the support and for the work. I also want to say a big thank you to our production managers. If you were in sessions, you saw someone helping you get in, you saw someone behind the scene doing something to make sure that your experience was smooth. And for that, we had Laura Ekumbo all the way in Nairobi, Kenya, who is also volunteering. So she's in a virtual space, making sure she's actively involved in all the sessions. We also want to say a big thank you to our photography team, Bernard Brown and Perry Mai, who were together helping make sure that you saw the behind the scenes capture of all that we did. And so those were our production volunteers. A big thank you to Samudin Tahir, who is our finance person. You know that if festivals have to happen, it's about money. It's the mullah that is moving it. And so he's our money man who is making sure that the numbers tally in some way, somehow, even if there's nothing to pull from. We have a way to align the sheet. And so thank you very much, Samudin. A big thank you, most importantly, to our sponsors for this year. I am Edinkra. You can look them up. They are an audiovisual company. And we have also attached the brochure in the chat so you can download and read a lot more about all these volunteers and our sponsors. But I am Edinkra have been our technical partners for this year. And so if we've been able to cross borders, if we've been able to come to you through this virtual space and connect worlds in one space through words, then I Am Edinkra has held us down solidly. So thank you so much for the technical support, Jackson, to Michael. Thank you so, so much. We are grateful. And to all our panelists who showed up, who spoke, who spent time and offered themselves, all our poets who gave their skill, every single person who shared a link but could not join, a big, big thank you to you. We are grateful. Together with the AAWP Festival team and on my own behalf, I want to say thank you from the depths of me. I am grateful for 4 years of your support, and I look forward to next year, 2027, where we bring you the 5th anniversary of our work, and it will be having 6 editions. It will be our 6th edition, even though we are in 5 years. And so look out for it and stay with us through it all. A big thank you once again, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Recording
Oh,
stopped.
I forgot. Yeah, it's fine. The recording is stopped. Please, can we turn on our videos for a quick selfie? I totally forgot. Everybody can turn on their video for a quick selfie. Oh, who else? Even the guests can do that. We would love to see you in our photos. So please, by all means, you can turn on your video. Let's have participants can turn on their videos too. Please, you are here. You are in the room. So if you don't have the option, that's fine. But yeah, your biggest smile. And in 3, 2, 1. There we have it. Okay. Thank you very much once again. Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you. Bye.
We did it, guys. That's still not ended. You have